relationships are hard. And I've been really trying to explore what relationships mean. What is a healthy relationship? What does love look like? What does love mean to me? What are my beliefs around love? And in order to do that, I really had to look back on how I learned about love. And I will say that a lot of my beliefs and stories I tell myself about love came from Disney movies. And it came from those big old sappy romantic movies that, have the knight in shining armor and the princess and they fall in love and everything is hunky dory and they get married and they ride off into the sunset. But then what happens next? And I mean, these ideas of romance are still happening today. I mean, look at Bridgerton. You are the bane of my existence and the object of all my desires. Like all the women of the world rejoiced when hearing that sentence. But again, what happens when there's difficult times? What happens when there is a disagreement? What happens when there's some really hard shit that happens in life? And I mean, on top of all of these romantic movies, for me, I came from a family where my parents have been together for 40 plus years, which is amazing. But I never saw them fight. I never saw them go through a difficult moment. I never saw them, have a healthy disagreement. So navigating relationships is really hard for anyone, especially also on the other side of that. If you haven't been shown a healthy relationship and your parents fought all the time, and again, those weren't like healthy relationships or navigating through those things and healthy communication. But if we don't start looking at what healthy is, where these stories came from, where these roots started, we'll never uncover what healthy is to us. And healthy might be different for everyone, but I think with going through a divorce and going through heartbreak like I did, it really did kill the belief of, any sort of idea of love that I ever had. And I gained an incredible fear of failure and uncertainty. So in the end, I had no idea what love meant at all because it clearly wasn't what I saw in the movies and it wasn't what my parents had. So I then had to redefine that for myself. And in order to do that, first I had to find love for myself and who I am and what I wanted. But then the hardest part is to get into a relationship, get into a healthy relationship and navigate that. Because if you've gone through heartbreak and you have a fear of failure and you have a fear of uncertainty, navigating anything past the third date is really difficult. I mean, for me, I've dealt with a lot of relationship anxiety. I have dealt with anxiety about things being uncertain. I've had anxiety about, just not feeling fireworks all the time. And I think upon my reflection of going through relationships and experiencing relationship, it really is being open to new experiences, being open to feeling something different. And I'm not saying a bad different, I'm saying just something different. Because once we go through the honeymoon stage, there are no longer those fireworks, there are no longer those big, explosions of feeling. It really levels off to a simmer. And in most relationships that I've been in where that falls off the radar, I've gotten scared and left. But I think this is really a moment for us to look at ourselves, to stand up to that fear and change our idea of love. And how can you look at this as a learning experience rather than something to fear? So, in order to navigate a relationship, I had to embrace the little things that we did together, because not everything is going to be a romantic dinner and, constantly sharing love with your partner. You're going to go through hard shit, and you're going to go through times where it's just boring and it's mundane. But I think when you look at the magic behind the mundane and embrace those boring moments, because we're so used to having the up and down of a tumultuous relationship and having that anxiety and having that worry that our partner is going to leave us, or, you're not good enough. But just sitting with that discomfort and embracing the calm and the peace that we're so afraid to feel in a healthy relationship is so important to break past those walls that you have put up. And I mean, I bring this up because I had a situation with the person that I'm dating, and we were hanging out together, and we've been dating for a bit. And he wanted to go to Home Depot. And I was like, oh my God, this is not something that I want to do. But I had to reframe that because I knew that he really wanted me to go with him. And in terms of reframing that, it was reframing it to be, why don't you go do something fun with the person you're dating? Why don't you go make Home Depot a fun experience? Why can't you go share those little moments instead of being negative and, stepping away from a situation that could actually, Home Depot could bring you closer together. Maybe you pick a favorite paint color or whatnot. And it's in those little things that you find joy with a partner and you appreciate your partner for. Because again, not everything is going to be puppies and rainbows. It's going to be just boring. And being able to get past that anxiety of like, okay, well, why are we not, what do we do in a relationship? How can we keep the sparks alive in terms of every second of every moment, because you're so used to feeling that? The peace and the calmness that you have in sharing those little moments of going to Home Depot or going to fix something on a house or going to do something so mundane and so adult and so, minuscule, can still be such a beautiful moment with your partner, because one, they're gonna appreciate it. They're gonna, enjoy the fact that you're coming with them and you get to share this moment. And I think having those little moments and cherishing those little moments are going to allow you to feel more comfortable in those moments of anxiety where you feel like, oh gosh, why do I feel this way? Why do I not feel fireworks? And it's going to level things out so that way you can navigate your relationship easier. You can navigate your arguments easier because you're able to stay stable in your relationship, to be stable and show up for yourself. And you're able to connect on a deeper level so that you can uncover things with your partner and share those small moments and be vulnerable and have healthy conversations and have healthy arguments and learn more about the other person and come out stronger after that. Because if you build a strong bond, no matter if it's a boring moment or a really difficult conversation, you have that strong friendship to come back to and know that you're going to be okay. So in coming back to the romanticized idea of what love is and relationships, I mean, yeah, There is romance in relationships, but it's not always going to be there. You have to embrace those moments of magic in the mundane, because those are the moments that are going to get you through. Those are the moments that you're going to remember when you're in conflict with your partner and you're able to think about that and share that and even laugh about it. And so relationships are hard, but I think that's the beauty of them, because it builds such a bond and you learn so much about the other person. And it's what makes life worth living and enjoyable. See you in the next video.